Your obsession with your mental health is exactly what is destroying it. You are not doing the work. You are burying yourself alive. Every time you analyze your anxiety, every time you dissect your past, find the root of your trauma, and every time you try to pinpoint your exact psychological attachment style, you are actively erasing who you actually are. Let me tell you a terrifying secret that the multi-billion-dollar self-improvement industry is praying you never figure out. The more self-aware you become, the more broken you actually make yourself. We have been sold a massive lie. We have been told that the only way to live an authentic, happy life is to look inward, to map out every emotional trigger, and to relentlessly optimize our minds. But what if the endless pursuit of finding yourself is the exact mechanism that guarantees you will be lost forever? Think about a time you were completely alone, maybe driving down a highway late at night, and your favorite song came on the radio. You started singing. You didn't care about the pitch, you didn't care about how you looked, you were just existing inside the rhythm. But then, you pull up to a red light and you accidentally lock eyes with someone in the next car. Or worse, you catch your own reflection in the rearview mirror. Instantly, the spell is broken. You stop singing, you suddenly feel embarrassed. You adjust your posture. Why? Because you shifted from simply being to watching yourself be. In quantum mechanics, there is a bizarre phenomenon where observing a particle fundamentally changes how that particle behaves. A photon will act completely naturally, existing in multiple possibilities at once, until the exact second a scientist tries to measure it. The moment it is watched, it collapses into a single, rigid state. Human consciousness works the exact same way. The second you ask the question, "Who am I?" or "Why am I acting this way?" your mind violently splits in two. You are no longer a whole human being. You are now the actor on a stage and the cruel, hypercritical judge sitting in the audience. You cannot be the person experiencing life and the person analyzing life at the exact same time. The you that acts naturally and the you that observes simply cannot coexist. And this psychological split doesn't just ruin the present moment, it completely corrupts your past. When you dive deep into self-awareness, you inevitably try to confront your memories to understand why you are the way you are. But neuroscience has uncovered a deeply unsettling truth about human memory called memory reconsolidation. Every single time you recall a memory, you are not opening a saved video file on a hard drive. You are rewriting the code. If you look back at your first major heartbreak today, armed with all the psychology podcasts you've listened to and the therapy vocabulary you've adopted, you aren't actually seeing what happened. Maybe back then it was just a sad, confusing breakup. But now you analyze it. You decide your ex was emotionally unavailable. You decide you had an anxious, preoccupied attachment style. You retrofit clinical trauma labels onto an everyday human experience. You are literally overwriting your own history to fit the narrative you believe about yourself today. You are diagnosing a ghost, and by turning every slightly negative experience into a profound psychological wound, you trap yourself in a permanent state of victimhood. You stop being a person who went through something difficult and you become a trauma survivor as an entire, inescapable personality trait. This is the hall of mirrors that self-awareness traps you in. First, you notice you feel anxious. Then, you think about the fact that you are anxious. Then, you start worrying that your anxiety about your anxiety is going to ruin your day. Soon, you are wondering if your anxiety about your anxiety is stemming from childhood neglect. Suddenly, you aren't living life anymore. You are managing a psychological crisis that you entirely invented inside your own head. Have you ever noticed that the most charismatic, successful, and genuinely happy people from your high school or your workplace are rarely the ones meticulously journaling their feelings? The people who get ahead, who ask the bold question at the networking event, who take the wild risk and start the business, they aren't doing it because they have achieved perfect enlightened mental health. They are doing it because they lack the paralyzing self-awareness to talk themselves out of it. They don't have an inner critic stopping them to ask if their action perfectly aligns with their authentic self. They just act. Meanwhile, the highly self-aware person spends 10 years paralyzed on the starting line, trying to pick the perfect psychological shoes to run the race. You have to ask yourself a very uncomfortable question: who actually benefits from your endless self-interrogation? If you are awake at 2 in the morning, agonizing over a casual conversation you had 3 days ago, deciding that you are fundamentally broken and need to buy another self-help book, download another mental health app, or pay for another life coaching course to fix your mindset, someone is cashing a check. Modern capitalism relies entirely on your inadequacy. It is highly profitable for you to believe that there is a perfect, healed version of yourself just waiting to be unlocked for the low price of a monthly subscription. If you ever actually accepted yourself, if you ever just stopped analyzing your flaws, entire industries would collapse overnight. You are not broken, you are just a very profitable consumer of your own insecurities. The fundamental error we make comes directly from Western philosophy. Ancient thinkers like Socrates planted the idea that there is a solid, hidden, true self buried deep inside you, and that your life's ultimate mission is to excavate it. We treat the self like a buried treasure. But Eastern philosophy, specifically traditions like Buddhism and Taoism, figured out the punchline thousands of years ago. The self is an illusion. There is no buried treasure. You are not a marble statue waiting to be patiently chiseled out of the rock. You are a river you change depending on the day, the hour, the people you are with, and the environment you are in. You are allowed to be fluid. The ancient Taoist philosopher Zhuangzi once dreamt he was a butterfly. When he woke up, he didn't obsessively journal about what his inner child was trying to tell him through the butterfly. He didn't book a therapy session to unpack the trauma of his dream. He just asked a playful question: am I a man who dreamt of being a butterfly, or a butterfly dreaming I am a man? He didn't demand a clinical answer. He just smiled, shrugged, and went on with his life. The search for your authentic self is the very cage that is keeping you locked up. As long as you are watching your own life, you are not living it. The people who are most obsessed with self-awareness are always the ones who feel the most lost, because they are constantly performing for an audience of one. If you want to actually find peace, if you want to be truly authentic, you have to do the scariest thing imaginable. You have to stop looking. You have to drop the labels. You have to stop diagnosing your sadness and categorizing your joy. Life is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a song to be danced to. And you can never truly hear the music as long as you are staring at your own feet. The terrifying paradox of self-awareness is this: the only way to ever truly find yourself is to completely lose yourself.